The day unfolds with Fuutarou Uesugi's reminiscence of the day he first encountered his bride, a dreamy start to his wedding day. Flashing back to his school years, a chance encounter occurs in the cafeteria where Itsuki Nakano joins him at his usually solitary lunch table. Upon noticing his exceptional test scores, she requests his help for studying, extending an offer to share her lunch. However, his response is less than polite, leading to her distress. Reiha, Futarou's younger sister, informs him of a part-time tutoring job arranged by their father, which to his surprise turns out to be for Itsuki. Seeking to apologize, he inadvertently meets her 4 quintuplet sisters, Ichika, Yotsuba, Miku, and Nino, unaware of their biological connection. Arriving at the Nakano apartment and introducing himself as Itsuki's tutor, Fuutarou is thunderstruck to discover that the 5 girls are identical quintuplets, all under his tutoring assignment. Their inaugural study session proves challenging, with only Yotsuba showing enthusiasm. Nino, in an unexpected turn, laces Futarou's water with sleeping pills, prompting her to send him home via taxi. Itsuki accompanies him and meets Reiha upon his arrival. Witnessing the Uesugi family's financial struggles, she graciously accepts Reiha's invitation to share dinner with them. In their subsequent tutoring session, Fuutarou, sensing the quintuplets' hostility towards him, issues a challenge, a test with a promise that if they pass, he'll never interfere with them again. To his disappointment, all 5 of them fail, managing only a combined score of 100. Determined to understand the mystery behind Miku's earlier correct answer on the history question, Fuutarou probes her during their next encounter. However, their conversation gets interrupted by Yotsuba and Ichika, who inadvertently embarrass Miku by discussing crushes, leaving Fuutarou bewildered by the situation. Later on, Fuutarou discovers a note from Miku inviting him to the rooftop where, for a fleeting moment, he misconstrues her discussion about the earlier question as a love confession. Soon, he unravels Miku's profound interest in history, particularly Japanese warlords. Despite her attempt to evade him, even disguising herself as Yotsuba, Futarou's determination remains unwavering. He extends a peace gesture by offering her favorite soda and, in the process, realizes that Miku had the highest test score among the quintuplets. Noticing that each of them excelled in different questions, Fuutarou uses this as a source of encouragement, refusing to give up on a disheartened Miku. Empowered by Futarou's support, Miku joins Fuutarou and Yotsuba in the library for a dedicated study session. Fuutarou arrives for the quintuplets' next tutoring session, but as they are about to study, Nino appears and sends away Yotsuba, Ichika and Itsuki, much to the annoyance of both Fuutarou and Miku. Nino challenges Miku to a cooking competition, on the condition that they will stop studying if Nino wins. Nino's dish turns out much better looking than Miku's, but Fuutarou still judges the contest to be a draw, endearing him further to Miku. Fuutarou leaves, but quickly realizes that he has left his flashcards, so he is allowed back in the apartment by Miku. However, he encounters a towel-clad Nino, who mistakes him for Miku without her contact lenses. She vents her anger at Fuutarou, disrupting their sisterly unity, and unsettles a pile of books on a high shelf. Fuutarou rushes to protect her from the falling books, but is then caught in a compromising position by Itsuki, who takes a picture of them. The other sisters return home and convene a court-like meeting to decide if Fuutarou should continue as their tutor after the incident. Miku helps Fuutarou protest his innocence, and after examining Itsuki's photograph further, so do Ichika and Itsuki. Nino remains unimpressed, but leaves, upset at a comment from Ichika. She locks herself out but, too stubborn to ask the others to be let back in, ends up talking to Fuutarou, denying his accurate observations about her defensiveness of her sisters. She declares that she won't accept him, regardless of her sisters' protestations. While Fuutarou is engrossed in studying at home, Itsuki arrives to pay him for tutoring, but he hesitates to accept it, feeling he hasn't succeeded in getting all the sisters to study. Reiha, his sister, convinces both of them to take a break and head to the arcade. There, they enjoy themselves and capture moments in a photo booth. As dusk approaches, they unexpectedly bump into the other 4 quintuplets, all donned in yukata for the upcoming festival. Yotsuba invites Reiha to join them for the fireworks, a suggestion Fuutarou agrees to on the condition that they finish their pending schoolwork first. At the festival, Ichika engages in playful banter with Fuutarou but abruptly steps away to take a secretive phone call. Meanwhile, Yotsuba muses about Reiha being her little sister if she were to marry Fuutarou someday. Miku shares with Fuutarou the significance of watching fireworks together, a tradition that holds a special place in their hearts, evoking memories of their deceased mother. Nino guides Fuutarou to a rented rooftop for the fireworks, but when the others don't arrive, she reluctantly sends him to search for them. First encountering Ichika, Fuutarou gets redirected by a mustached stranger, leaving him bemused. Soon after, he finds Miku, who has hurt her foot. Mistaken for a couple by 2 survey-taking women, Fuutarou unknowingly upsets Miku by denying even their friendship. Spotting Itsuki, Fuutarou rushes after her, only to be intercepted by Ichika in an alley. She presses him against the wall, asking him to keep their earlier encounter a secret from the others. In the secluded alley, Ichika confides in Fuutarou about receiving a work call, which dashes her hopes of joining her sisters for the fireworks. Spotting the mustached man once more, she instinctively seeks refuge behind Fuutarou. His persistent denial of friendship with the quintuplet stings Ichika, highlighting the hurtful impact of his words. Grappling with guilt over Miku's earlier reaction, Fuutarou realizes the weight of his actions. As the man mistakes Miku for her sister and confronts her, Fuutarou intervenes, boldly claiming to be the quintuplet's partner, stunning both Ichika and Miku. To everyone's surprise, the man turns out to be Ichika's agent, shedding light on her hidden career as a talented young actress. Despite Futarou's attempts to persuade Ichika to stay, she insists on fulfilling an important audition. Instead, he assists her by rehearsing lines, ironically assuming the role of a professor to her grateful student. Arriving late for her audition, Ichika astounds the casting panel. Upon her return, the festival has ended, but Fuutarou brings her to the park where her sisters await with a miniature fireworks set. Forgiving her for missing their tradition, they embrace Ichika warmly. A symbolic moment occurs as Ichika and Miku both reach for the same sparkler, implied metaphor for Fuutarou, but Ichika gracefully relinquishes it, acknowledging Miku's attachment, expressing her willingness to cooperate more in study sessions. Ichika assures Fuutarou of her commitment. With midterms looming, Fuutarou tries to encourage Itsuki and Nino to join his tutoring sessions, but with no success, though Itsuki studies hard on her own. After skipping out on parfaits, Itsuki presents Fuutarou with her phone to communicate with their father, Maruwa, where he learns that he will be fired if even a single one of them fails their exam. He argues with Itsuki, with both of them declaring that they'll never work together again, something he quickly regrets. Back at the Nakano apartment, Fuutarou and the study group are playing the game of life when Nino attempts to eject him. Ichika pretends that Fuutarou had promised to stay overnight to ensure that he stays. While Fuutarou takes a bath, Nino pretends to be Itsuki and learns that he will be fired if any of them fail, much to her glee. When they return to studying, Miku asks what kind of girls Fuutarou likes, which he reveals in the style of a top 3 countdown. He interests the girls in studying. When he tells them he will reveal each step of the top 3 by each page they complete. As such, all 3 girls hurry to finish their pages, eager to know his answers. These are always cheerful, good at cooking and cares about her big brother. Revealing that he was just talking about Reiha, he reiterates his lack of interest in dating. Ichika, who has been not so subtly setting up Fuutarou and Miku all evening, talks to him on the balcony, opining that he and Itsuki fight because they are so alike. Miku allows Fuutarou to sleep in her bed, rooming with Ichika for the night, but after getting up in the night for the bathroom, she forgets and returns to her own room. The next day, Fuutarou wakes to find himself next to a sleeping Miku. Over breakfast, Itsuki bemoans her difficulties in getting along with Fuutarou after their recent fight. Ichika playfully suggests that she disguise herself as Miku to talk to him, and Nino soon joins in. In Miku's room, Fuutarou wakes to find himself next to a sleeping Miku. Deducing her identity from her pajamas, he sneaks out of the room, only to find himself confronted by Miku, Itsuki in disguise. He is not fooled and quickly retreats, much to her chagrin. Fuutarou, Ichika and Yotsuba go to the library, where Ichika pretends to have left her pencil case at home to cover for Fuutarou going back to speak to Itsuki. He encounters Miku halfway and tells her that he slept on the living room floor, a lie to save them both from embarrassment. Finding a sleeping Itsuki, and noticing she is using Miku's headphones, Fuutarou addresses her as Miku, to get her to talk more openly. They both apologize for their fight. Fuutarou stays over for another night to help the quintuplets study for their midterm exams, which they almost miss by oversleeping. They all manage to sneak in past the supervisor by wearing Yotsuba's ribbon, who had arrived on time, making him believe the same girl is going in and out of the school. On their midterms, each quintuplet passes 1 subject out of 5, and Fuutarou prepares to be fired as their tutor. However, much to everyone's surprise, Nino takes the phone and tricks their father by explaining that they collectively avoided failing all subjects, in that each of them passed a different subject under Futarou's guidance, which is proof enough for him to keep Fuutarou as a tutor. With all of the quintuplets finally prepared to accept his tutoring, Fuutarou offers to take them for celebratory parfaits. In the library, Ichika leverages a photo containing evidence of her giving Fuutarou a lap pillow to demand access to all the quintuplets' contact information. However, distracted by Yotsuba's abrupt departure due to declining an invitation from the school's women's basketball team, Fuutarou forgets his student handbook. His concern for Yotsuba's sudden exit prompts him to retrieve the handbook, leading him to Nino's room. There, Nino spots a photo of a blonde, stern-looking guy, whom unbeknownst to her, is actually Fuutarou from 5 years ago. When questioned about it, Fuutarou fibs, claiming the picture depicts a relative of his. Delving into their childhood memories, Nino reminisces about their early lives and digs out photos from their past. The pictures showcase all 5 quintuplets appearing identical, evoking nostalgia for how much they've changed over the years. To everyone's surprise, it's revealed that one of the quintuplets had encountered Fuutarou during a primary school study tour in Kyoto 5 years earlier a revelation present in the other half of the folded picture in Fuutarou's handbook. Miku, disguised as Ichika, rejects a confession and invitation from Maeda, Ichika's classmate. When Fuutarou arrives, he plays along, posing as Ichika's boyfriend to defend her. Maeda, heartbroken, challenges Fuutarou to dance with Ichika during the campfire at the upcoming camping trip to prove their relationship. As the trip approaches, Reiha falls ill, prompting Fuutarou to stay back despite her rapid recovery. However, the quintuplets insist he attend. They set off together in their private car, but adverse weather conditions leave them stranded on a snowy road. Forced to seek refuge in a hotel, they're confronted with the challenge of sharing a room, sparking a debate among the quintuplets about who should sleep next to Fuutarou. To resolve the issue, they all decide to sleep alongside him. The following morning, Ichika, waking early, is captivated by Futarou's peaceful slumber. Sitting by his side, she gazes at him fondly. Itsuki, seeing them, mistakes Miku for Ichika due to their similar appearance, and assumes the girl is kissing Fuutarou, unaware of the mistaken identity amidst the quintuplets' similar attire. A legend says that when couples dance and hold hands during the end of the campfire held at the event each year, the people involved will be together forever. The thought haunts Miku, who wishes to dance with Fuutarou, but having noticed Ichika's affection for him, decides to let her dance with him, wanting to be happy for her. Meanwhile, Fuutarou and Yotsuba dress as ghosts to scare others, but Ichika and Miku aren't scared. Instead, they recognize Fuutarou wearing a blonde wig. Later, they discuss privately about what each thinks of Fuutarou. Meanwhile, Nino and Itsuki get scared, prompting them to run in the wrong direction, getting lost in the forest. Worrying for them, Fuutarou finds Nino near a cliff, saving her before falling, but Nino mistakes Fuutarou as the boy in the picture she saw on Futarou's handbook because of the blonde wig. Playing alone, Fuutarou addresses himself as Kentaro, Futarou's relative, and seeing Nino scared, gives her a lucky amulet given to him by Reiha. Seeing a small bruise on his head, Nino gives Kentaro a patterned band-aid. Nino, smitten by Kentaro, invites him to dance in the campfire. Later, Fuutarou helps Ichika and Yotsuba carry logs from a warehouse for the campfire, but both him and Ichika are locked in purposefully by Yotsuba. Unable to escape, Ichika explains to him that she is supposed to dance with him per Maeda's dare, and Fuutarou remembers he also has to dance with Nino. He tries to call off his dance with Ichika, telling her to settle things on her own with Maeda. However, Ichika sheds tears, as she genuinely wanted to dance with Fuutarou. Trapped in a warehouse, Fuutarou kindles a fire to stave off the cold. Ichika confides in him about her aspirations in acting and considering a break from school. Fuutarou applauds her for pursuing her passions. Spotting the small fire, Ichika proposes a dance, a sentiment Fuutarou agrees to. Yet, he shares the campfire's significance with Ichika, helping her understand its importance to Miku. Racked with guilt, Ichika accidentally causes a large log to collapse, putting her in danger. Swiftly, Fuutarou intervenes to save her. Unfortunately, the disturbance triggers an anti-burglar alarm, dousing them in water from the sprinkler system. Miku and Itsuki arrive, demanding an explanation, but are skeptical. After settling the mishap, they head out for skiing. However, Ichika catches a cold but sneaks out to ensure Fuutarou keeps the incident secret. In an unfortunate skiing mishap, Futarou's clumsy attempt sends him crashing into a tree, dislodging the band-aid Nino had applied the night before. Nino, mistaking Fuutarou for Kentaro, gives chase. Cornered, Fuutarou seeks refuge in a small igloo, discovering a distressed Miku inside. Unable to evade Nino, they engage in a conversation where Miku acknowledges Futarou's deep understanding of her and her siblings. As he departs, Miku communicates with Ichika, hinting at a pending conversation they need to have. Miku, through a phone call with Ichika, actually Itsuki in disguise, reveals her resolve to seek independence in expressing her feelings for Fuutarou. She suggests that they both hold Futarou's hand during the campfire, surprising Itsuki with her decision. Meanwhile, the group grows concerned about Itsuki's absence and starts searching for her. Itsuki, posing as Ichika, leads Fuutarou to a ropeway, but his fever causes him to collapse. Itsuki gets help from counselors and ensures Fuutarou rests. Fuutarou, despite his illness, shares a misunderstanding with Nino, leading her to attend the campfire alone. Simultaneously, Miku confesses her feelings for Fuutarou to Ichika, expressing her determination to pursue her own happiness. They share a heartfelt moment of understanding and support. Yotsuba and Itsuki stumble upon Futarou's camping guide, realizing his enjoyment despite his sickness. Itsuki, concerned for Fuutarou, sneaks into his ward, only to discover all the quintuplets hiding there, worried about him. As the campfire event reaches its end, they gather around Fuutarou moments before the countdown. In a glimpse of the future, it's Futarou's wedding day. Reiha helps him retrieve the forgotten wedding ring and notices the lucky amulet she gave him 5 years ago, still on his person. Unknown to them all, during that campfire night years ago, each of the quintuplets held his hand, and one of them, whose identity remains a mystery, is about to become his bride. In a mid-credits scene, the girls reunite with Fuutarou, who had been hospitalized. Nino returns Fuutarou his lucky amulet as they all prepare to study together for their upcoming finals. At its core, the anime delves into themes of family, personal growth, and the complexities of relationships. The quintuplets initially have conflicting attitudes towards studying in Fuutarou, but as the story progresses, they each undergo character development, evolving beyond their initial traits. Moreover, the anime showcases the value of hard work and dedication in achieving personal goals. Futarou's commitment to tutoring and helping the quintuplets improve academically reflects the idea that effort and determination can lead to growth and success. Overall, The Quintessential Quintuplets offers a heartwarming story about personal connections, growth, and the importance of recognizing and embracing individual differences within a familial context. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel because it is very important for the development of the channel.
Yeah!